Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's in-depth analysis, we'll be taking a look at Paris Saint Germain's recent 3-1 victory versus Lille and the impact of Ousmane Dembélé, Bradley Barcola, and Marco Asensio, the selfless playmaker. Let's get straight into this. First of all, we'll take a look at how Paris Saint Germain creating chances throughout the 90 minutes, who were involved, who were the best players. Obviously here, Marquinhos gives it to Hakimi on the right side, Hakimi to Dembele, plays at 1-2. Dembele receives it in a very nice space. You can find Vitinha, can look for Asensio, maybe Barcola, or, get a great shot for himself. What does Dembele do? None of those options, straight at the goalkeeper. But it's a great opportunity for Paris Saint Germain. It's great that we're able to create these chances. We just have to get better and more consistent at finishing it. Because it wasn't just Dembele who was missing chances. One thing though, we have seen from Bradley Barcola so far this season, the runs. He's willingly running into the space in behind the defense every single time. Pretty much all of his goals and some of his chances he's created so far this season have all come from the same play, where Vitinha here receives the ball high up. Barcola immediately makes that run into the open space. Here again, Hakimi to Dembele. Dembele just absolutely cooks that defender. Shot straight at, doesn't lead to anything. Not another time here, Asensio finds Barcola behind the line. Barcola, shot, Lavelle, another great save. So even though it's 0-0, 25 minutes in, Paris Saint-Germain created 2 to 3 good opportunities for both of their wingers in Bradley Barcola and Dembele. Just the finishing has not been good enough. Dembele once again here putting in a great cross for Barcola. And Barcola, instead of heading it as a natural number 9, he tries striking with his foot. I mean, if he went in, we would have talked about this being one of the craziest goals for Barcola, but it didn't go in. But once again, another crazy chance here. 30 minutes in, João Neves finds Dembele with this beautiful pass. Dembele cooks him, has the tackle, and it's a penalty. Vitinha steps up and coolly slots it into the net. And so far, 32 minutes in, Paris Saint-Germain had looked by far as the strongest side in this game, and Lille only having pretty much one chance up until this opportunity. PSG having the most chances, PSG dominating and controlling the game. And only 1 minute, 2 minutes after, Barcola receives it very deep down here, helping out defensively, carries the ball up all the upwards, plays a 1-2 with Marco Asensio, who finds Barcola. And Barcola, as he's done this entire season, just extremely consistent with those right-footed, near post, far post finish. So he's just put that into his game. But now that it's 2-0 after 35 minutes, I wanted to go a bit into detail into the new front line at Paris Saint-Germain, which has been Bradley Barcola, Marco Asensio, and Ousmane Dembélé for 2 straight games now. BAD. They've contributed to 9 goals and assists in all 3 Ligue and Uber Eats games, 3 GA each, you could pretty much say, which is great for this upcoming 4-3. And here we can take a look at their heat map numbers. Dembélé on the right, Asensio in central areas, Barcola on the left. If you do compare this to last season, obviously with Kylian Mbappe was still getting chances centrally, but as you can see, sometimes he was getting into the space of Bradley Barcola, which meant that Barcola, couldn't become the player that he is this season. Even if we look at their touch map, we can see Barcola left, Dembélé right, Asensio centrally. Look at Mbappe. A lot of it is once again on the left, and he received chances up front to score goals, while Asensio is more dropping deep and playmaking for Dembele and Barcola to take shots. If you can see, Barcola hasn't even taken a shot in the previous game versus Lille. If we take a look at their individual stats, we can see Barcola, 3 shots, 1 XG, 0 key passes. Actually, Barcola hasn't registered a single key pass so far this season, which just talks about him being more of a goal scorer than a playmaker than last season. Asensio, 1 shot, 1.1 XG, 0 key passes. Dembele, 4 shots, 0.4 XG, and 2 key passes. Then we have Kylian Mbappe, where the team was built around him. Barcola, 0 shots, 0 XG, 0 key passes. Dembele, 0 shots, 0.1 XG, 3 key passes. And Mbappe, 4 shots, 1.1 XG, 0 key passes. So that's the main difference between PSG's attack this season and last season. Last season, it was Dembele and Barcola playmaking for Mbappe. This season, it's more Asensio and the rest of the team playmaking for Ousmane Dembele and Barcola, even though Dembele still does both of the duty, which is taking a lot of shots, but still creating a lot of chances, which just shows that if Dembele can keep this up consistently as his recent performance versus Lille, he can easily be the best player in the world. Just that's how good he is. And so over the season, 2.1 non-penalty XG minus XAG for Barcola, 2.5 for Asensio, and 3.1 for Dembele, showing that all of them have been very impactful offensively for PSG this season. 3.5 key passes for Dembele, 2.7 for Asensio, and as I mentioned, 0 key passes for Barcola this entire Ligue 1 season. Bradley Barcola. Very interesting stat there. And lastly, but not least, shots per game. Dembele and Barcola take the most with 4.68 shots per game compared to Marco Asensio 3.23, which shows that Dembele and Barcola will be the main goal scorers. They will receive the most XGs. They will receive the most chances. They will be taking the most shots. And PSG will hope and expect that they'll take their chances, whilst Asensio is more of that selfless playmaker, facilitating for both forwards. And these are the individual stats from the game. Marco Asensio, not the best game, but a calm game. 2 touches opposition box, 1 assist, 1 shot, 1 key pass, 3 recoveries, 1 out of 2 duels. Bradley Barcola, 8 touches in opposition box, 1 goal, 3 shots, 0 key passes, 1 out of 7 dribbles. It wasn't the best dribble game for Bradley Barcola this game, and 2 out of 10 duels won. And Ousmane Dembele, the man of the match, 10 touches in opposition box, 1 penalty, 1 4 shots, 2 key passes, 5 out of 6 dribbles completed, and 9 out of 12 duels won. What an incredible game from Dembele. Jumping in here into the second half, Marco Asensio finds once again Bradley Barcola. Dembele also coming in with a run. Bradley Barcola receives it, and this is what I love from the PSG attack. It's the selfless unselfishness to create opportunities for each other. Barcola from the Lille goalkeeper. The issue for me, PSG just couldn't take their chances right coming off the second half, because we had that great first half, 2-0 lead. We wanted to get that third early on in the second half. We were definitely pushing for it, having that chance. Barcola absolutely cooks him here. Shot straight to the goalkeeper. Dembele to Hakimi. Once again, Hakimi and Dembele narrowly gets a touch to it. And if PSG had scored here and it became 3-0, it would have been a different game. PSG would have killed the game off, but we sadly couldn't take our chances. Vitinha finding Dembele here between the lines. Dembele making good fake shot, has 2 players on him. Fabian coming in with the run, but Dembele, undembeleistically, is a bit selfish and goes for the shot instead of finding Fabian or even Doué, who's making that run down the right-hand side. But I mean, Dembele played centrally for 5 minutes in this game, so I was calm about it. And obviously here towards the end, Vitinha finds Doué. Doué manages to get it over Thomas Meunier. Perfect cross for Randal Colomani, who scores the goal for Paris Saint Germain. Now let's take a look at how Lille created some chances for against Paris Saint Germain, what we struggled with and what we have to improve into the upcoming games now that we're facing a much better offensive team. Early on here, long ball to the right back, gets it over Barcola, gets it to Boya, their striker, back to Zergrova, puts in the cross, and Diakite, the defender, is there, strikes the post. PSG a bit fortunate right at the beginning of the game, but sometimes this happens. But if I have to blame any of this on anyone, maybe it's Barcola. Could be a bit tighter to him, so he does not receive. But I mean, Lille do really great here. Fast counter-attack, very lethal. They know exactly what they want to do. PSG a bit fortunate there. Hakimi later down here in the first half, and as you can see, Lille haven't done anything pretty much in this first half. Bad pass there from Hakimi, Lille, Zergrova to Thiago, but it's a great save from Gianluigi Donnarumma. So after the first half, Lille had created 2 chances. One of them came from Hakimi, just giving them a huge chance. But apart from that, Lille were not threatening in the first half. Paris Saint Germain, offensively and defensively, were really great in the first half. But this is where pretty much all of it changed. So as you can see, the momentum, the red is for Lille up here. They had, I think, 1 or 2 chances when they came out of the first half, but nothing serious. But this is when the main change happened right here. This is when Desiree Doué and Fabian Ruiz came off for Neves and Asensio, and a tiny bit later Kangili and Colomani came off for Dembele and Barcola. And Paris Saint-Germain just lost the control of the game towards the end here, didn't create any chances, couldn't keep the ball, lost possession. And I mean, Lille had 13 out of their 15 shots in the second half, with maybe 10 or 9 of them coming just in this period, which just shows that it's a bit of 2 different games in this game. The first half being Paris Saint-Germain controlling, dominating, creating, not conceding that many stuff. But in the second half, it was a totally different story. Obviously, when you're 2-0 up, you're a bit comfortable as well. But I think it's a mixture of PSG not taking their chances in this period, not killing the game off, and the substitutions really didn't have the impact we wanted them to have, and we lost a bit of control and the balance in the game. One other issue was our long balls. I still don't understand. I've been complaining about the long balls. Please instead of playing these stupid long balls, just force playing out of the back. First of all, we'll get better out of playing out of the back. I know that we can potentially lose balls in our defensive areas, but we shouldn't be scared of that. Instead of playing these useless long balls, 8 out of 18 from Donnarumma and 12 out of 11 for Beraldo and Patrick combined. We just kept giving away the ball to Lille, and this happened a lot of time during that momentum period towards the end. After those substitutions, Fabian Ruiz was also misplacing passes. So we just have to be, I don't know, a bit more careful with possession, taking care of possession, and not giving away the ball to the opposition that much. And here comes their goal. Diakite gives it to Zegrova. And there are two players I want to look at for, because I try to find a weakness, something we can improve on. That's Warren, Zara, Emre, Marquinhos. We can see that Vitinha is on this guy. Beraldo wants to go on to Zagrova, but he knows that this guy is in behind. If he goes into central, Pacho has to go for him, and Beraldo has to have him. Hakim is marking this guy. I mean, this guy, Hakimi could potentially look at him, but I don't see him as a threat. Go one picture closer and you can see Warren still ball watching. He's not going after him. He's He's just there. Marquinhos standing there with the invisible wall. Zegrova takes the shot. It's a great shot. It's a goal. But Warren, Marquinhos, you cannot be ball watching like this. Warren wasn't even marking, wasn't even doing anything. Marquinhos, you could even use the excuse that maybe Hakimi goes to him and this guy makes the inside run. Marquinhos has to be careful for him right here. Because, I mean, it still works. Zergo could have still tried finding this guy. So a lot of it is on Warren, Zara, Emre here. Just completely ball watching Zegrova. Obviously, Lille towards the end obviously scored 2 goals from 2 set pieces. Both disallowed, rightfully so, for offside. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And here are the stats. Paris Saint Germain 2.6 XG compared to 1.4. Only 58% possession, which is at least a 10% decrease from our past 2 previous game versus Le Havre and Montpellier. 11 to 8 shots, 7 on target to 4. 5 big chances to compared to 4, and 2 big chances missed compared to 4. But going away from this game, Paris Saint Germain created enough. I mean, we've been creating so many chances in the past games, including this one. We created a lot. Lille, I would say that their expected goals and all of that looks a bit fugazi because they got them in a short time of span. And some of them, I mean, how they calculated them being high XG wasn't really that mathematical and logical. But for me, it was a dominant enough and controlling enough performance from Paris Saint Germain. That drop off into the second half just cannot happen again. We have to improve on that. And as we saw by some moments, we just have to take our chances better, maybe be a little bit selfish as well, and work a bit harder. And here are the stats for the game. Progressive passes. João Neves has the most dribbles. It was Dembele, attacks, interception. Fabian Ruiz, even though we came on towards the end, touches Marquinhos, passes Marquinhos, shot creating actions, Dembele, progressive carries, Barcola, shots, Dembele, recoveries, Warren and Beraldo, goals and assists, Dembele, Barcola, Vitinha, Colo, Due, key passes, Hakimi, fouls, Colo, Marquinhos and Barcola, passes into the final third, Hakimi, Dembele, fouls drawn, Warren, Zara, Emre, progressive passes received, Osman Dembele, and crosses, Osman Dembele. So a lot of domination from Osman Dembele in all the offensive sectors, and then a little bit of a mix between the other players for the other positions. But for the first 3 games for Paris Saint Germain this season, in the 2024-2025 season, we've scored 13 goals and only allowed 2 goals, which is a great start to this season for Paris Saint Germain. At least 3 goals in every single game so far. 9.3 XG and 2.1 XGA, which shows that we're pretty much conceding how we should be conceding, but we've scored over 4 goals more than we are expected to score. Obviously, the international break will start now, so we get a little bit of a pause from Paris Saint Germain football. But right when we come back, we have a double week fixture, obviously against Brest on the weekend, and then it's the first Champions League game versus Girona at the Parc des Princes, which I'm extremely excited for to watch. We'll obviously talk about previews and all of that when we come back from the international break. A lot of great videos will be coming up this upcoming week. I have a lot of videos planned, including a transfer recap of the summer transfer window. That's been it from your boy PSG, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, enjoy it. That's been it from your boy PSG, and as usual, allez Paris.